lift. We've got a bunch of things going on here today, so we're gonna jump right in, and we're also going to start as we usually start with shout from the summit. Who's got good news? Something great going on in your world, or who's got someone to celebrate from our team? Don't everybody talk at once. Does somebody have good news? Anybody? Well, I have good news. I shared with some of you that my oldest daughter Sarah had our second granddaughter on July 3rd, and I think I've been out since then. So we are very excited about that, and we are currently my mother who lived in Michigan until last Tuesday has now moved in with us for a couple months. So we are a three generational home, which is pretty crazy. So, but we're excited to get to spend some time with her. Anyone else? Good news.
Yes, I have good news. Sorry, I was
Go
having
for
some
it.
tech challenges. Number one, thank you all for doing everything that you continue to do. While I actually took a vacation that didn't all revolve around hockey last week, it was much needed, and I am super excited. And Russ is going to talk a little bit more about this. And we have Kimberly Horn here today. Um, we are going to be participating in Digital Bold, which is way exciting because you all know that we're far enough from Denver and we have a small group that it's very, very hard to make that commitment to get down, to do an in-person bold. So the fact that we are going to be able to offer this with Kimberly to help every single one of you level up your business, I'm super stoked about it.
Absolutely. Thank you for sharing that. Anyone else? Good news. I want
Here,
to give
I'll
it.
real quick, Russ.
Go ahead, Chance.
All right. So real quickly, well, first of all, hey, Kimberly Horn, previous Tampa Properties branch manager for Top Flight. So I know it hits home for you.
Yes, that's awesome.
So it's good to have a little bit of Tampa here right now. But um, real quickly though, just wanted to say that I'm actually on my way up to Frisco right now to go interview a potential LO for the Frisco Market Center. So really excited about that because that's been a task at hand right there for quite some time. So we're really excited, and hopefully he ends up being a good fit that we can get him plugged into that market center as quick as possible.
I love that. Great Chance. Hey, speaking of Chance and Top Flight, I do want to give a shout out. Chance, I closed my third transaction with Chance. He successfully navigated my number three daughter to her first time home buyer purchase a couple weeks ago. And she's 22 years old. So we're working very hard to bring down the age of the first time home buyer in the United States. And as I mentioned, my mother moved in with me last week. He also got her pre-approved with a tricky situation. Top Flight is doing really great things, and I'm super impressed with how they handle delicate situations, challenging situations. I shared with you all my firstborn bought a house with Top Flight in December, and Chance's team did a really amazing job navigating a very difficult HOA situation. So, if you haven't given Top Flight and Matt and Chance a shot, give them a shot. It'll be worth your time. Um, okay. Couple quick announcements. Mondays and Thursdays, Breakthrough 120 Accountability Group. We've got pro coaching with Katie on Tuesdays. We've got contracts with Rod on Wednesdays. Leslie mentioned Bold coming up, and I just wanted to quickly say, I was a team leader in St. Louis, Missouri for 10 long years. And I think I've hosted 20 Bolds And right when I stepped out, Kimberly came to St. Louis
Yeah.
and she did two bolds in a row, or maybe three, Kimberly. Um, and I didn't attend her bolds, but I heard the buzz as I was starting my regional role in Colorado about how great it is. And what I want to say about bold is this: the market center, for 10 years, we knew like clockwork that when we scheduled a bold, which by the way, in-person bold, minimum 50 people, my market center would take it on. We would have, a room with 100 of our 300 agents at times. This is a heavy lift, but here's what we always knew about bold. When you commit to 6 weeks of intense training, of professional coaching and consistent accountability, you can't help but win. And by win, I mean you will take listings, you will get back in contact with your sphere, and those listings will attract buyers and you will make money. So, Kimberly's going to chat for a few minutes with us about this upcoming bold, which is $399. It is a digital experience, which frankly, folks, since we're spread out over 7 counties, that is a real win for us. And Kimberly is doing this not as the low man on the totem pole who gets stuck with digital bold. She's doing it as one of the top bold instructors who is venturing into this new space because it's necessary. So, Kimberly, take it away.
Yeah, no, thanks so much. So let me kind of tell you who I am for 2 seconds
Tell
and
us
why
why
I'm
you're
in a
in that car, by the way.
I know. Well, my husband's having surgery, so I snuck out here for this few minutes to talk to you guys. And I said, hey, don't judge me for being in a car or who knows where I was going to be. But yes, my name is Kimberly Horn. To give you a small bit of who I am, 2004, I got into the real estate business. So I've been in the ups, I've been in the downs, I've been in the crazies. I was a team leader like Russ for 11 years. I hosted only 16. You beat me, Russ. Bolds as a leader. I
John
had
Davis
two.
was my RD.
Okay. I probably coached more than you. That they were not bold, right? So I've been a MAPS coach for 13 years, a bold coach for 6.5 years. And Russ is right. I didn't get digital bold because of the low man on the totem pole, if he wants to say it. I coach team leaders and OPs, and they say to me all the time, Kimberly, we want to do bold. We cannot actually put 15 people in the room due to being a small market area, or kind of like what Russ has spread out over. So I went to our bold director. I don't usually go out in August. I said, I want to do something. So I pitched them the deal. I said, let me do a digital. Let me go to the market centers that need it, who want it, who their agents say, I want the 8 to 10 transactions. I want to build my pipeline for 2026. I want to build my pipeline for 2027. And with what the market's doing now, I need a new strategy. I need a new way to look at this and how I can actually build this out. So I just started to basically do what you do as agents, and I started lead generating. I called up Russ. I called up anybody that I knew who I knew was in a smaller market, who had smaller market centers, and said, let's do this. Let's do this. And I've been on the phone with all of your leaders who I've fallen in love with, and we're going to do digital bold. So what does it look like? It'll still be 6 weeks. It is Gary's Onward Bold. So if you've not taken Bold since it's been rewritten to Onward Bold, Gary, I look at this as like his love language, his love letters to his top agents and to you, because that's who he hangs out with. And it'll be 3.5 hours on Wednesdays, and you guys are Mountain Time, so it's gonna be, and correct me, Leslie, if I say something wrong, 10 to 1:30. It is gonna be a digital experience. It's going to be half the cost, but it's going to be the full impact. So think about this: half the cost, half the time, the complete impact that you're looking for. So if you're looking for, you want to hear the new material, you need more accountability. Your business is struggling right now. Maybe the market is kind of doing some funky things to you. And you just know, you said, I need something more, and you don't have a plan. This is your plan. We are going to work through not only Gary's his bold truths, which are amazing. We'll be doing some social media stuff. We'll be doing listings and buyers and lead gen. I could go on and on about all we're going to do. And yet we need you in the room to make an impact, not only in your business, but in your life. And so that's kind of what I just came on. I don't want to take up all of your time because I know it's limited. Russ, what did I not say, or what questions might people have that I could answer to help them out?
I think some people who were with KW during COVID might wonder if this is a webinar format. What's the I mean, I know it's digital, but what's the format?
Yeah, I will be live on Zoom. I'll be doing chats. I'll be doing it in Zoom. You're going to be going into masterminds. You're still going to have teams. You'll still be reporting out your numbers. My goal is, as I'm looking through the material and condensing it to that, because nobody wants to be on Zoom more than 3 hours, 3.5 hours, is I'm taking the meat of the material and getting it into play. On top of that, I'm also looking at what exercises we can do together. So you will be doing masterminds with other agents. The really cool part, and I think if you signed up for no other reason, you did it for this one, is the referral opportunity. We have market centers from the Pacific to the Atlantic. I mean, it's all north and south. So the opportunity you'll have to meet other agents and the referral opportunity, knowing they're like-minded like you. And it's all live.
Love it. All right. Anybody have questions for Kimberly? All right. We are excited about this. Thank you so much. And get back to your husband.
He does know I'm out here, just so you know.
All right.
All right. Thanks so much. I look forward to seeing each one of you.
All right. And folks, can you see my screen again?
Yes.
So it's $3.99 an agent. It starts August. I think I said August 3rd earlier, but it's actually August 5th. You can contact Marielle or your team leader to sign up. We are also, and you do have to sign up for First Step and the rest. First Step is free. The rest of the steps is, so if you don't believe Kimberly's energy is going to pass through at a great level, do the first step for free and then decide if you want to sign up for the rest of it. The Market Center, because we believe in this, we are doing a reimbursement program. And here's how it works. You sign up $3.99, attend all 6 steps, graduate, meaning you have to actually play all in. We're going to give you a day off if you're sick or, whatever. But you got to play all in. And then we will track your production for 6 months after the last session. And when you close the first 2 transactions, the market centers will reimburse you $200 a pop. So you get the transactions and you make $1.
That's a pretty good deal. I don't know about you.
It's a pretty good deal. So we're doing this because we simply believe in this program. If you have questions about this, shoot me a text and we'll pop on the phone and talk through it a little bit more. Thank you again, Kimberly, for being here today.
Yeah, I'm going to add my information in the chat as well. And I'm happy to speak to anybody also. Thank you, Russ, for giving me this opportunity. You guys will see you soon.
Hey, I wanted to give a quick update on KW Cares. Vail led the region for transactional giving. 83% of the units closed in June had a gift to KW Cares. Thank you, Vail agents. Summit County was at 16.4%. And when we look at the year-to-date contributions to KW, folks, we try to donate about $5,000 a year. And Summit County is at $4,607. And Vail is at $2,253. I'm just giving you the scoreboard. We have 6 more months. And if you do the math there, we're both going to hit that $5,000 tithe, and we certainly need it. By the way, Julie Abel and Monica Anderson, of donators in Colorado, they are among the top 5 for transactional giving. So I don't know if they're on here today, but thank you, Julie. Thank you, Monica. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, here's what I'm talking about. Transactional giving is when you agree to a small donation every time you do a closing to KW Cares. You can also do it to KW Next Gen, which helps the children and grandchildren of KW agents. But KW Cares is transactional giving is one way that we show our culture and we help our agents in time of need. Don't miss my market high Mile High Market Brief every Monday at noon. It goes on YouTube shortly thereafter. Yesterday, we did a full rundown of the US economy and what's going on and how it's affecting things. Simon Sinek is going to be at Mega Camp on Wednesday, August 19th, delivering a keynote that is updated from the keynote he was supposed to deliver in February of 2020, but he got COVID and couldn't make it. Some of you remember that. Simon's going to be doing the keynote at Mega Camp, and there are still tickets available for Mega Camp. It is in San Antonio this year, and it runs the 17th through the 19th for agents, and leadership gets to stay another day. The Vail Market Center and the Summit County Market Center will be doing digital access for those of you who want the content but don't want to travel. You're going to get Gary's market update. You're going to get some Red Talks, which are short, like TED Talk type presentations. You're going to get mini keynotes from some of the top speakers, agent success panels, and you're going to get Simon Sinek. The Market Center is covering this. We can only stream it in one location. So in Edwards we'll stream, in Frisco we'll stream, and if you want to do it in your living room, well, it's $6.99, which is cheaper than going to San Antonio. The Rocky Mountain Summit is coming up in our own backyard with Sahil Bloom, our keynote speaker, Jay Papazan, Wendy Papazan, Jordan Freed talking about production, Lauren Lucas back on AI, David Voorhees on tech, Ruben Gonzalez is going to do a market update, Brandon Green is going to talk about wealth, Caroline Woe is going to talk about luxury. Don't miss this. If you know an agent that should be at the Rocky Mountain Summit, the region has agreed to let them come for free. So the Market Center doesn't have to pay it. The agent doesn't have to pay it. You don't have to pay it. We're looking for agents who are 3 million or better in closed sales volume. They'll get a day and a half pass for it. If they're luxury agents and they want to come to the luxury event, let me know and we'll make accommodations for that. But they must be in production. See your team leader for questions about that. I want to recognize a few people before we get to our guest speaker today. In Vail, new listings, Karen in Gypsum with a 649 on Cutthroat Loop, Sam in Vail with a 3.895 on Potato Patch Drive, Unit C, and Ryan in Avon with a 1.5 on June Creek Trail. In Summit, some new listings. Carrie's got one in Kremling that is beautiful. Aaron's got one in Lyons, which is beautiful as well. And Skinner has a great house for 2.7 in Breck. I'm excited that Tom's here. Tom and I have known each other, I don't know, 5 or 6 years. And he was a team leader when I was coaching him for MAPS coaching. And he's also a top agent. In fact, during the time when when he was a team leader, he was also selling 75 or so homes a year, which he continues to do, currently doing it under Place. And Tom, thanks for being here to talk to us about how you are using AI to help grow your business and to help provide some leverage. Take it away, Tom.
Thanks for having me. Sounds good. So, how many minutes would you like me to talk, just so I time myself
We're
a little
cutting
bit?
you off at 10 o'clock Mountain, 12 o'clock your
Okay.
time.
All right, sounds good. So yeah, and the reason I even asked that is that I'm very excited about AI. I feel like I've always been, kind of interested in technology, and I got my first computer when I was 12 years old. But it truly is one of those things that it's for everybody, and it can make your life so much easier. And I really believe, as I, talk with agents, there's some of them that are just submersed, and they're really using it every day. That some are using it almost as a hobby, where it's like we're using the tool for the tool's sake. But I think that most of us are probably, if in all honesty, if we're at 5% of using what's available right now, we're probably exaggerating, right? We're probably not even touching 5% of what you could be doing if you really understood Claude, ChatGPT, the different tools that are available. So I have this little sticky note on my computer, and I got this idea from a book. Hopefully, you can see that. How
Yeah.
can AI help me do this? And I got this idea from a book that was, I just finished reading this one. It's the AI Driven Leader by Jeff Woods, and Jeff used to run the One Thing from the One Thing book, became a company, a coaching company, and it's really good. I love how he emphasizes basically using AI as a partner, right? It is a um, it should be another person. If we're all sitting around the room and making decisions, or I'm sitting alone and I'm just doing my job, I should have essentially another person in the room, and that's my AI. I give some examples of uses where I've used it recently is you can and again, I think everybody has the things that they do. They use it for I mean, so we use it for virtual staging. We add furniture to our photos. We use it to help with narratives. We use it to help with the directions on the MLS, but we can use it as a deeper level with valuations, CMAs, and some of it can be straight in your favorite tool, whether it be ChatGPT or Claude. And so that's one some of the things that are pretty basic that everybody knows about. But coaching yourself and helping you to get your 3-year plan together. So that's kind of the more consultative approach. So have you basically spelled out for your AI, this is what I am looking to do in the next 3 years on in this, when it comes to this, when it comes to this, this is my challenges, this is what I have a hard time with. And then basically putting yourself in where it becomes your coach. Most of the AIs, you can tell them how to talk with you. So you can tell it, be straight with me, don't sugarcoat it, don't tell me what I want to hear, and don't hallucinate. If you're going to say something, give me the facts, help me to understand exactly, what I need to do. And so you can basically, and more recently, I created my 411 and my GPS for the next 3 years simply by just feeding it my goals and what I want to accomplish and what I struggle with. And it will actually not only create a document for you, and I use Claude for a lot of this stuff, and here's my GPS, my 411, but also it will, as you're interacting with it and you've added this to its memory, it will tell you, hey, you really want to do that when you've got this going on, and it will actually advise and coach you on a lot of things. I'll give you a couple examples that you might not have thought about. So I actually ended up where I had a customer and they're doing a short sale. And so it just struck me back to my sticker, right? How can AI help me with this? I'm sitting there like, I got to do this thing. I got to get them to sign this authorization to release information and then and just start handling the short sale. But I just create a project. Now, mind you, you have you have to have a paid version of an AI and you have to turn off the help train the models feature. Otherwise, you could be leaking confidential information. But if you have a paid version, you turn off all train the models, create a project. I put all the documents in there. I've got a contract, I've got a mortgage statement, I've got this, and I just say to the AI, help me to get started with this short sale package. And the AI comes back and says, "Hey Tom, that authorization to release information only has John's name on it, but Dawn is also on the mortgage. I think you're going to need to get her to sign that authorization or the mortgage company won't talk with you." I'm like, "Oh, good catch." And your hardship letter is talking about the fact that they filed for bankruptcy, but it doesn't really give a good reason why. And I'm pretty sure they're going to want a good reason why, other than just we filed bankruptcy. Like, yeah, you're probably right, right? So to actually have a relationship with a very, very intelligent person who's read basically every book in the world to interact with. And I think the important thing to keep in mind is don't let it run the show. It's not making the decisions, but don't forget that it's pretty smart and it actually will catch things like that. I very often fact check now. People hate me because I fact check everything and I find out that most of what people say is not accurate. It's just as a little fun thing. Just, oh, you're saying that old expression that everybody's always said, and check with AI like, wait a minute, that's actually not an accurate fact. But in terms of what we do, very often I was like, well, according to the NAR settlement, am I allowed to just making up an example, am I allowed to show my own listing to someone who a sign call without a buyer brokerage agreement? Ask AI and see what it says, right? Because I might have, well, I interpreted it this way. Again, not having using it instead of an attorney, but just ask it questions and ask for references. Ask to show me, prove your work, show me where you got that information. I actually had a use case not many days ago where my wife, who's also a real estate agent, had closed on a condo, oceanfront condo, where the condo dues or they filed a pretty heavy assessment. If you're familiar with, there's a lot of issues with oceanfront condos around here lately in the last couple of years. So there was assessments that got levied after closing. These people sent a letter from an attorney to my wife and her brokerage saying, you need to pay us $80,000 for non-disclosure because you didn't tell us that they were going to be raising there was going to be an assessment. So, of course, back to this. How can AI help me with this? I took the contract, the seller's property disclosure, all correspondence that was had between her and the other agent, the transaction coordinator, the letter from their attorney, put it all into a project in Claude, and I said, "Hey, Claude, what's the legal position on this? Like, how strong is their case in this context?" And Claude gave me some very interesting points to point out. He said, "Well, they actually did sign the seller's property disclosure, and in there it actually says that there were discussions about assessments, although they weren't completely levied." So that was an interesting note, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Now, in this particular case, I already had a really good idea of where we stood legally. The sellers who also got this did end up hiring an attorney. So just so you hear me, I'm not giving legal advice based on AI, but I think in some ways I had a pretty good picture of what to hand the attorney when we had the conversation because Claude read through every scrap of the documents, the letter, the claim, and even all of the correspondence, screenshots. It can read screenshots. So you can do a screenshot of text messages, throw it in the project, have it included. I just the other day we had a piece of land. These people were trying to sell a piece of land. I came up with that the best way to get the maximum amount for vacant land, in my experience, is to do it as a to be built. So basically, they wanted between 800 and a million for this piece of land. And so, my position was we probably can get you more than you would have gotten if we do it as a to be built and we focus all attention on the end product, not the piece. So I refer to that as like, hey, you're not negotiating at a car dealer. How much are you paying for
I
the muffler?
resent it last night, and she
Right?
hasn't gotten back yet.
You're not negotiating the price of the muffler. You're negotiating for a car, right? And so that's the concept. So we took this piece of land. Well, he already had drawings engineered and blueprints. We put together a whole marketing strategy using AI, including taking the blueprints, putting them into Notebook LM or one of the AIs, and saying, create a full photographic image of this house using the exact blueprints. Don't vary anything from the blueprints we're given. And literally, we have property photos and a whole strategy of showing the house on the property in the exact position where it will be and photos based on blueprints. You could do that in the past, but you would have hired an artist to actually paint. So just an example of how like, wow, this creates something that's really cool and the client's going to get a little bit more and hopefully we get a commission for the land and a commission from the builder for the house portion. So I got a listing the other day for um, a property, and it just so happened I realized the owner of the property who passed away, and then it was his wife, was one of the most famous astronauts in American astronaut history. His name's Tom Stafford. It was his house. He lived there since the 90s. I said to the couple, and I think it might have helped me get the listing. I said, I want to focus more on this as being almost like a museum than just being an average old house. I want to focus on Tom Stafford, the astronaut, so that maybe someone from, because we live literally within vision of where the rockets go off. And that's the reason this astronaut bought this house, was it's close driving distance to the launch pad where the rockets go up. And so we ended up creating a whole marketing strategy based around the person. And I actually made a video using one of the video creation AIs where I took photos, like standard NASA photos of him. I actually took his information, I put it into this, and it created a persona inside of the video software. And I told the story. I said, listen, we're trying to sell this house, but we want to link it back to him. So it created a video of him flying and landing in this lunar capsule. And then it just shows the flying going over the house itself and landing right in front of the house. And then I created a URL specifically for this house. So, and just as an example of using AI, right? Another thing that I did in creating, I created a GPT inside of ChatGPT for um, a specific subdivision. So, and then I used a URL and I pointed it at the GPT itself. So the subdivisions is Bridgewater. So I registered bridgewater.life. And if you type in bridgewater.life, it takes you to the GPT, which is basically a GPT inside of ChatGPT with I put all the HOA docs, I put the listing information, I put information about the amenities, the community, everything I knew, threw it all into this GPT. So somebody could stumble onto it and say, well, what's the monthly? Is there a pickleball? Is there a pool? How big is it? What are the amenities? And they can actually dialogue with the GPT rather than just having like a static website. So that's an example and that doesn't cost anything. Like you could actually build a GPT of your own inside of ChatGPT. Just a little note on marketing, we also just updated our LLM.txt file. On the back side of your website, you should have an LLM.txt file where you can put all of the information about yourself and your business that you want all of the AIs to know and easily find who you are, what you're about, what the index is, what are the different pieces of your website. Put that AI.LLM or the LLM.text in your website to help the AIs to find you better. Just a little note.
Can I ask a question about that?
Hmm.
Um, you're saying that in the coding for for all of our websites, there is a place where you can trigger LLMs to recognize what you want them to recognize about you.
Yes, AIs are now, they know that if now they should look for LLM.txt, and that helps them to index quickly what this site is about rather than having to go and actually read your site. So it's smart to do it. Like if you have certain niches, put it in your text in your file, and you'll help expedite them to find you. Yeah.
Is that sorry to keep pounding on
Yeah.
this. Is that I know you probably use a Brivity site because you're with
Mhm.
Place.
Yeah.
Is that all is that all websites that do that?
I believe so. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's not just the Brivity sites. Any site you put it in the main folder for
Hmm.
where the
Yeah.
index file is. It's in that folder, and that's where it'll find it.
So I think if I'm hearing this, if I'm listening to you, what I'm going to probably do later today is go to Claude or ChatGPT or Gemini and say, I need to add an LLM.txt to my website. How do I do it? Right?
Exactly. Have it write it for you if it knows you. Yeah, exactly.
All right.
Absolutely. And I
That's
think
awesome.
that's really part of the thing is that I constantly keep reminding myself because I'll give another example. So if you guys are familiar with Tidewater, so Tidewater is when a VA loan comes, the appraisal comes in short, and you have the right to kind of come with some arguments back to the VA appraiser and say, you know, you're wrong. That should have appraised at contract price. So there's this process. I had a Tidewater the other day, and I said, well, that's not right. I'm going to dispute that. So they said, well, fill this in, and they sent me it looked like a fax. It was like a it was like a blurry copy of a one page, and it had the property address, the comps that I suggest, and then argument, reason why. And it's just like, and actually started filling it in. I wrote this, and I like, I don't use pen and paper, and I'm literally filling in this form because that's what they sent me. And I'm just like, this is stupid. I even scanned in what I had already done, put it in Claude. I took the comps that I was using as PDFs from the MLS and said, these are the comps you should use. This is the line of reasoning. Help me to write a Tidewater. It knew exactly what a Tidewater format appropriate should look like because it's supposed to be in a very specific format. It made the form for me as a Word file or which I save as a PDF. And then it gave me like it came back as 3 pages with really good reasoning as to why the appraiser was wrong and why it should have been contract price. And I'm looking at it, and this is the experience I've had over and over again, is when I use AI like to polish my with something I've written or like this story, is I look at it and I'm like, I was about to do this without AI, and it literally comes back 10 times better. And I mean, exaggerate with the 10 times better. But so often I feel like when I'm using it to polish what I do, not only is it quicker, but it's better. And I start thinking like, why the heck do I not use it for everything humanly possible? One of the things that I just discovered, and I'll share the link in the chat, is something called Whisper Flow. And Whisper Flow is it's not so much an AI tool. It's basically a keyboard replacement, but it does use AI. And what it does is I on my Mac, I just push the little globe and talk. The difference, and you might be, oh, I already got that. I have it where it transcribes what I say. So, yeah, but if I were to say, hey, Russ, no, I mean Marla, I want to meet you at 4. No, I mean 5. If you transcribe that, it's going to say Russ, no, Marla, 4, no, 5, right? It's going to say everything you just said. With Whisper Flow, it's going to say, hey, Marla, let's meet at 5. It's going to correct based on what you said. And the reason that's powerful for AI is that to use AI, like really get it up to that level, you shouldn't be typing with your thumbs and you shouldn't be typing to talk with AI. It should be with your mouth. And so to use it, the normal voice dictation or whisper flow even better with AI, I feel like it takes it to another level. And I know
Yeah.
I'm running out of time, but I want to show something that I think might kind of blow your mind. So, can you see this graph here?
Yes.
Okay. So I've created, and this, you can look this up. It's called a second brain. And people are talking about it. So you'll find all sorts of people talking about a second brain on YouTube or whatever. And the second brain is basically, it's made up of notes that are MD files or markdown files. So if you basically take everything as you're taking notes, it could be for your clients, it could be for literally anything in your entire life that crosses your mind. It could be reading a book, you saw a video, and for me, I record almost everything with Otter AI. And so I have transcripts. I even record listing presentations. All of my phone calls are recorded and put into my CRM. So for me, I have two second brains. One is my CRM because it has all of this built in. It has the recordings and everything. And then this is the kind of my everything else in my life second brain. And so what it does is you create links between people, library, sources, Ideaverse, books, home, coaching. Like it's got all of these things and you link all of the notes. They're all MD files. But then you plug in and this is a system, it's called Obsidian. It doesn't have AI. It just views MD files, but you can plug in any AI. So I use Claude and then say to Claude, hey, what was the code to that place? How much did he say? Like you can talk with it and it will answer you about anything because it's in your brain. And the exciting thing is the more time passes and the more content you put into your second brain, the richer it becomes where you actually can talk with it. And you can actually go into it and say, you can ask it to help you to organize and make connections and to categorize things. So a lot of this, I have a raw content area, and then Claude goes through and processes it and then takes it and makes backlinks to what subject it should be in and puts it in the right folder. So a lot of the intelligent linkings that you see here is was done by AI. It wasn't done by a person. Another thing that you might not be aware of is that ChatGPT now has tons of connectors. So I connected all of my bank accounts, which I have a lot of bank accounts. I've got like 20 bank accounts. So I've got LLCs and things like that. So I connected all of my accounts, any credit cards for any businesses, anything, connect everything into ChatGPT. And now I can just go into ChatGPT and say, what's my net worth? Do I
Yeah.
have a credit card statement due? What's the highest interest credit card of the ones that are there? Like you can literally talk to it about your finances, and it's like a live connection, and it's good. Like definitely, again, you want to have your, train the models feature turned off if you're sharing confidential information. But I don't think everybody knows. Emails, I go to Claude, and I have Claude connected. You have it built into your Gmail now or the Google Suite is that you can go into Gemini right inside and say, what's the most important emails? You can ask it to organize your emails. You can go into Claude and say, hey, I just got 500 emails over the weekend. I haven't been checking. What's urgent? What do I need to be doing? And you can also link it to your task list. And so it can look both at your emails and your task list and say, I'm pretty swamped. What do I need to be doing? And the cool thing is having that together with having it already know all your goals and your 411 and your GPS, it has that as priorities to tell you not just based on, well, that sounded urgent, but no, that's not according to your goals. This is so having that advisor and coach. We also have AI call coaching, and this is something that I think you can train with using like ChatGPT. You can have it become a coach with the right prompt. We have it inside of our Brivity where we actually get scored and really rich feedback as a part of call coaching. So you have different personas, different levels of advanced. You push record, and it has a persona that's very, very realistic. And I think that's also going to be a game changer, especially for newer agents, because they're going to have a lot of realistic training with really good feedback based on that.
Yeah. Tom, I love the sticky you held up earlier. How can AI help? I think it said, how can AI help me with this?
Yeah.
I realized well, we had Lauren Lucas out and she talked about attaching AI, your AI tool to your email. And I haven't sent an email in a long time. I do it straight through Claude. And like you can say things like, hey, every week I send this email to this group of people. Can you update it based on what was on my calendar this week? And resend it Monday morning at 9. Another interesting thing is if you use a program like Todoist or Take Out the Milk or Don't Forget the Milk or one of those like to-do programs, you can be in your car and just say, here's my brain dump, get all these things onto my to-do list, mark them urgent, and give them a due date of tomorrow. And it just saves you so much time. Um, it's shocking when you start playing with this stuff, what it does. I love what you said about I love what you said about Bridgewater, and because in Colorado, and where we work, we deal so much with different HOAs and different rules. If you didn't hear what he said, he built a custom GPT. I don't know where that link is for that. It's right under here. He built a custom GPT, loaded everything he knew about Bridgewater, assigned a URL. What was it? Bridgewater.life?
Live.
Live.
It's right there in the middle. Yeah.
Yeah.
Bridgewater.live. Yeah.
And now anybody that wants to ask questions about this community, think single tree, think, gypsum, think eagle. Um, they can go right here and he's the provider of all that information. Can somebody find you in this custom GPT somehow?
Yeah, if you look, it says, "How can I schedule a private tour?" That would just go click on that. How can I schedule a private
Oh,
tour?
I
No,
didn't.
the four
I
buttons.
covered that one.
Yeah. And then it'll probably give my number. Yeah, there's my number.
Yeah.
That's my number. Yeah. So, I
So you
mean,
think
yeah,
about being in like the information age, like what people want to come to us for. They don't want to come to us to be sold, at least initially. They want to come to us to be the keeper of the information. And so he's giving all of this out there with a custom GPT, and then, well, here's my number.
yeah, yeah. And you got the 3D virtual tour and a video and a floor
Yeah.
plan right there. I think those are hyperlinks. The ones that you have, the dark is, I believe that's hyperlinks, the 3D
Yeah.
virtual tour. We have a Matterport. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
I
I
love
mean,
that.
cool stuff. Yep.
Hey, thank you, Tom, for being here. Folks, next week we've got Isaiah Perez. He's out of Montrose, Colorado. He's a top rookie agent, 16 million closed in his first year, or first full year. Then we will take 2 weeks off, one just because, one for Mega Camp, and back at it August 25. See you next Tuesday. And thank you again, Tom, for being generous and sharing your thoughts on AI with us. Take care, everybody.